I'm going to ask Blake if you'll come up here and share with us from the trip.
Good morning. Can I say wow? I mean, we should start with hey-oh. Josh brought that up the first morning with the kids. It was fantastic. Are those angels singing? Thank you. Yeah, already put me on the spot. I shared a little bit in our elder meeting this morning. And it's kind of hard because if you know me, I can't stop talking. But if you give me a microphone and actually ask me to actually convey a message, I find difficulty. So just roll with me a little bit here. I'm still kind of on an emotional high, and my battery is about to pop because it needed charging bad in my personal life and in my spiritual life. And God delivers. And I'm just excited, and I'm able to worship like I haven't in a long time. And I'm excited to see my people this morning. And so Artie asked me to share just a couple tidbits, which is frankly quite impossible in the minutes that you gave me. But so we decided that we're going to talk a little bit about what the theme of our trip became. And it was an overtone that kept kind of coming back to the meetings. Our team would get together every night and download and process so we would have dinner, and some would shower, some wouldn't. And sorry, Josh. And then we would have a little worship time, which was amazing. And then we would have a team meeting. And in one of the very first meetings, I had a conversation Sunday afternoon with a staff member. And it was the message of the conversation that I had with her just smacked me in the face. And it was, she was talking about her experience of how she ended up being a permanent resident at the orphanage. And she went back and forth, and then her engagement got broke apart, and God kept pressing her into the orphanage and kept pressing her into Emmanuel until finally she sold everything and moved down there. But during her time of bouncing back and forth, she said what was a confirmation for her was that she would be there and feel like she's just grinding out the motions. She's just doing a job. But God, why are you calling me to do this? What's in this? And so she would go home for 3 months, and then another thing would happen, another confirmation would happen, and she would come back, and she would start to see the product of her work from 6 months earlier. And this went on and on and on, and until she finally ended up there, and she's been there 7 or 8 years, I think she told me. And it was just like light bulb, like an epiphany. And so we come back and we're having a team meeting, and I shared with the team, and I said, I really feel like I'm supposed to share this with you guys. And it is, we are here. And whether it's a year where we do nothing but just play with children and eat with them and serve them and love them, that's okay. Turns out this was a pretty labor-intensive trip. I mean, thank God I'm a dentist and I got to be in the dental clinic, because my team dug trenches, like a 150-foot trench. They, by hand, tilled Bermuda. If you've never pulled Bermuda grass out of dry dirt, it's super fun. You should try it when you get home tonight. But these raised beds, they were getting the grass out so they could plant vegetation. I can't remember everything, but I mean, we were worried on day one about having projects, and they had plenty for us to do. By day 4, we were like, okay, enough with the projects. We just want to go love on some kids. But I digress. So we were having the meeting, and I'm saying whether we build something or whether we love on somebody or whether you just take the kids to the store and buy them something, we're not necessarily potentially going to get to see the fruit of that interaction, of that act, of that work. I said, so let's let the theme of the trip be, we're seed sowers. We're planting trees. And we might get to see one of those trees sprout up real fast and blossom and make some fruit. Probably not. I have been fortunate enough to go back since my first year was 2010 maybe. And so I've been going long enough. Literally, the family that I sponsored down there was a baby and 3 years old, and she's graduating next year. And so I've had time to build relationship and see results of the work that all of the teams over the years have put in. And it's so gratifying for God to let me have a glimpse of that, and it's so motivating to keep going back. But my team was fresh. I mean, it was us and the coach, and I'm not sure that outside of that anyone had ever been before. A few? Okay. And so, okay, bro. Okay, first of all, 4 minutes for this download, not enough, all right? Second of all, it just means Artie's just he's gonna have to be quicker, because so I'm gonna finish my story. Okay, so, good on you. Okay, all right, but I'll try to wrap this up real quick. What the theme of the week became and what we wanted to share from the boardroom this morning was that the theme that kept resounding through the week is we are doing what God's called us to do, okay? And it doesn't mean that we're going to get the earthly reward of seeing the seed go in the ground and the years it takes for a tree to grow and then for the fruit to hang from the branch. And then what do you actually pick from that branch? That takes time. That takes God's work in that process. And we have been called to go to Honduras to put those seeds in the ground. And I feel like every week that this team goes, we don't plant a seed. We plant orchards. You know, and as you go back and as you get to witness these children growing up, and they tell you 8 years later, you remember when you took me over to the sewer pond and we caught fish out of it and you told me this? That changed my life. And I was able to reconcile this with God because of that. You know, in the moment, you don't know that's happening, but that became a resounding theme as the stories came in every night to our team download. The stories came in, and you kept hearing people say, "I planted a seed. I think something is going to happen here." You know, or not even that. Or I hope I planted a seed. They planted a seed. Trust me. Wow, great week. One last thing. The dynamics of this team were different than any team we've taken before in terms of we've always had not always, but for the more recent years, we've had a real big core group of people that went every year. And so it was very comfortable, in your comfort zone. I know them. I know it's going to go good. I didn't know Eric very well. That's my bro now. I mean, like, we eat, slept, and served together. And I have 22 new intimate relationships in this church. I had about 5 of before. And so, man, I encourage you, if it's not this trip, if it's another trip, go serve the Lord in the field and use what you have had the most gracious opportunity to know and learn. And what we learn at our church is how to love Jesus and how to live and show that. And this gives you a platform for that. But you go to give and share Jesus, but you bring suitcases of stuff back with you. And I don't mean physical suitcases. I mean, you're full when you get back.